everyone, and welcome to the JIRA Hangout. I'm Bryan Rollins, and we'll wait a couple more seconds for some more folks to join in the conversation. But thanks right away for everybody who's already on. I'm actually talking to you from Sydney, Australia, but if you're listening for an Australian accent, you're going to be disappointed because, as the Aussies would say, you're dealing with a Yank from the States. So I originally grew up in Alaska, lived in California for a period of time, and lived in Austin, Texas. So I'm now a transplanted American living in Sydney, Australia. I'm going to check a couple of things technically here as viewers are coming in. This is one of these amazing worldwide coordinated internet events that we've all grown to know and love. And again, we're just waiting a couple more minutes for some people to come on board. I guess it's about 6 p.m. in Ho Chi Minh City right now. It's 9 o'clock here in Sydney, and it's the middle of winter here, so it's pretty dark outside. We're waiting for the winter to end and the spring to begin, so we can get back into surfing and swimming and all that other fun stuff. All right. Well, we'll just kick it off here, and I'll start with just a few pieces of introduction. First, thanks for everybody for joining. Second, thanks to everybody who submitted questions. There's some great questions from some kind of all over different topics. So I'm pretty excited to get to those later on in the broadcast. But first, I wanted to give you a little bit of background on myself and how I ended up where I'm at today. So. Again, I'm Bryan Rollins, and I'm the general manager for the JIRA family. But mostly before Atlassian, I was a software entrepreneur in the States. So I started a couple of companies in the United States, and one of the companies was acquired by Cisco. Another company that I was a part of was actually acquired by Dell, and so I had some good fortune in working in the technology industry. And product strategy has really been the focus of my career, though I've always just loved working with customers, and so that's been a passion of mine as well. I joined Atlassian, honestly not knowing a lot about the company before I started to interview there. I'd been a user of JIRA on a number of startups. I'd actually introduced JIRA Agile, what was back then called Greenhopper, to a company and a team that I was working with, and we were spread across Boston and Texas and California. And I'd used Confluence almost every day as a product manager as well. But I didn't know that much about Atlassian at the time, but I was amazed when I learned what an incredible company it was, not just the products, but the company culture, the values, and the people were just absolutely outstanding. And so what I do today is I'm the general manager for the JIRA family of products, and that includes JIRA and JIRA Agile, as well as JIRA Capture. And that means I'm responsible for product marketing, product management, and for engineering for all of that JIRA family. And it's a fantastic job. I don't know if I would have taken a general manager job at any other company, because at other companies, general managers just manage sales teams, and they have to worry about quotas, and they have to worry about closing big deals at the end of the quarter to hit their numbers. And at Atlassian, we really care about how we continue to make the best products to make our customers' lives better, and to help software companies continue to build great software, and to help teams everywhere collaborate. So it's the best job I've ever had, and I think a lot of people at Atlassian would say that about what they do and get to do every day. Some of the folks in the Ho Chi Minh City office actually asked me about why am I excited about building a JIRA team in Ho Chi Minh City. Well, I've had a lot of personal excitement, not just professional excitement, about building a JIRA team in Vietnam, because one of my closest friends has moved to Vietnam, and so Justice Pendleton, if you come into the Atlassian office in Vietnam, you'll get to meet Justice. and he's heading up our service desk engineering team for Atlassian. And he moved to Vietnam a few months ago, and has been back and forth between Sydney, but spending more and more time in Vietnam. And again, very close friend of mine, really lives the Atlassian ideal, constantly challenges me on just every angle that we pursue inside of JIRA. And so, I've already got one person who I'm very close with in the office. Two, what we've seen out of the early Vietnam teams, both in Confluence and Service Desk, is really exciting. And the fact that the Vietnam team has actually won the customer Ship It prize, and I'll talk a little bit about that. I believe 3 quarters in a row now, which is just amazing. So a brand new office is actually beating Sydney, beating Gdansk, Poland, and beating our existing offices is just awesome. That the Vietnam office is already showing its colors in such a short period of time about the great software development that's happening in Ho Chi Minh City. So we're really excited about that. And Atlassian's model, I think, is so different in terms of what we look for in our remote offices. We don't think of, we don't do outsourcing and offshoring. What we want to do is we want to build what we consider balanced teams, which have product managers, designers, software engineers that directly contribute to building features and helping us build products. And so we want equal teams that can hold their own against our teams in Sydney, against our teams in San Francisco, against our teams in Gdansk, Poland. So we have a very high standard. And that's why I'm excited, is to meet whole new software teams who are going to come up with things that we never dreamed of in Sydney or in San Francisco or in our new office in Austin, Texas, or in Poland. So really exciting for us to get to work with a new location, because they always bring a different angle on a set of problems that that plague our customers. There's also a set of things I think that are special about the Vietnam office, which is we always try to expand our company values and make sure that people understand what the company values are. And as you come into Atlassian, you learn those company values. But then every office is different. The Austin, Texas office has its own Texas flavor to it. And but there are some things that are often consistent across offices. We provide snacks and drinks in every office. We have people who win awards for showing off the company values, and we have folks who won a number of awards in May in Vietnam for even just a short period of time, exhibiting how they were emblems of the Atlassian company values, and that was really exciting for us. Again, we have innovation contests at Atlassian every quarter that we call the Ship It Prize, where people voluntarily band together as development teams and build really whatever they want in 24 hours, and then compete to find who was the best overall within the office, the best internationally. And one of the awards that we often have is called the Customer Kick-Ass Award, and that's essentially where we pick the team worldwide that built something that demonstrated the most value to our customers. And it's often chosen by customers. And again, the Ho Chi Minh City office has actually won that 3 out of the 4 times we've given it in the last year, which is kind of amazing as a new office. So I think we already have a lot of unique things. We actually have some fun cross-office activities well too. So there's a Dota, or Defense of the Agents competition that goes on between Sydney and Ho Chi Minh City. So we've got some good fun rivalries and teamwork going on there, and there's a whole set of things on our on a Facebook page between Atlassian and Pyramid Consulting, where you can see all the local events, and hopefully we can provide that to you as a follow-up. As well, one thing that's really important is we have people who come from Sydney to come out to Ho Chi Minh City and to see the office there and meet the people. But we believe the reverse direction is equally as important, where we want people to come from the office that we have in Vietnam and actually come see Sydney and come see the Atlassian operation, and understanding how the original founding headquarters works, so they can bring that back. To Ho Chi Minh City. Well, so anyway, that was a long intro, but I appreciate you guys listening through that. Hope that gives you some great context about Atlassian, a little bit about myself, and again, why we're just incredibly excited about expanding the JIRA team and opening up a whole new set of teams in Ho Chi Minh City. So let's get to some questions. let's see. Our first question, and let's see. I think I want to jump back here and press on the Q&A session. All right, and again, thanks again for all the questions here. Oops, that's going to make me listen to myself, so I'm going to skip that, and I will just answer the questions that I can see from here. So let's pick them out here. So one is it says JIRA is a big product, and it's got a big development team that stands behind it. Can you share with us how you organize the team? Well, the team's actually smaller than some people might expect, and so some people wonder, with 25,000 customers and all the different features, how many hundreds of software developers do you have on the team? And of course, with multiple products in the JIRA family, we have well under 100 developers. In fact, if you take all of product marketing, all of product management, all of engineering, then finally you might get up to 100. And that includes QA and design and all kinds of other things. So it's not actually not that big of a team. But we also believe no matter what size the team, people work best in smaller teams. And so we build teams of 5 to 8 people, and think of that team as maybe 3 to 4 developers, a product manager, a designer, and someone who handles QA, all working together. And our QA model is a little bit different. I might get that to a little bit later, but we don't have testers. We have people who basically do quality assurance and quality, really teaching developers how to write quality code and how to test their own code, rather than just having manual testers. So it's a unique and fantastic philosophy. We typically want to organize people so that they're focused around a particular product, feature set, market, customer base, so they really can focus. So, for instance, one of our teams recently was a 4 to 6 person team that was wholly focused on a product we just announced called JIRA Data Center, which for the first time allowed you to actually cluster JIRA and run, four nodes of a JIRA instance clustered for our largest enterprise customers. Another team is working on a whole new information architecture for a JIRA project and how you can organize all the objects in a JIRA project. Another team it was kind of 2 to 3 developers just built what we call inline create, which lets you create any issue right from inside of an Agile board with all of the context of that Agile board immediately filled into the issue. So lots of new exciting things that a lot of different teams do, but we typically want people working in small teams and not just feeling like you're one of 20 developers on some massive project, but we want people to have strong ownership of what they build. I really like this question. This is a great one. How do you think about your development team? Are they really strong, and are they a technical team? Well, there's no question that the JIRA team is incredibly technical, and we have a really high standard for developers at Atlassian. But their technical ability is really only one part of it. So for years, maybe 4 years ago, if you looked at the JIRA development team, it was heavy sort of server side and Java. But if you looked at the JIRA team today, over a majority of the developers are actually what we call a full stack developer, meaning they can write the front end, CSS, HTML, JavaScript, Soy, backbone code, all the way back to the server side. So they can really write a feature end to end using the entire technology stack that we use in JIRA. And that's been a really important push for us, is to not just have specialists, but have people who are capable of taking a feature from start to finish. But it's not just the technology that's important. We care that our developers actually understand good design, that they understand what a customer's needs are, and that they think about the customer experience and they think about the customer needs when they develop a feature. And so we also expect our developers to be great culture fits with Atlassian, to be open and direct and challenge each other, and to be creative and to participate in our ship it projects, and to take 20% time, meaning kind of a 1 day a week time where you work on what you think would be a great addition to JIRA. And so those are all aspects that we look for in our developers. And so it's a unique skill set, but it's a fantastic team. And it's what makes, I think, Atlassian such a special place to work in, is that these aren't just people who only care about code, but they care about customers, they care about building great products that they're proud of, they care about well-designed products, and in the end, they care about the experience and the benefit that they deliver to customers. So that's a really exciting one for us. Um, can you share more about the contribution of the Vietnam JIRA team and what they're working on? Well, we haven't started actually hiring specifically for the JIRA team in Vietnam. In fact, that's kind of the main purpose I'm here today, is I want to encourage as many people to think about joining the Ho Chi Minh City office for Atlassian and Pyramid Consulting, because we're starting to build that team. We actually have two amazing teams up and running already today. So Confluence and Service Desk really have some great effective development teams in Ho Chi Minh City, and so they're up and running today. And JIRA Service Desk is actually the fastest growing product in its first year at Atlassian, so really exciting initiative there. And of course, Confluence is our collaborative content platform, often used to be referred to as a wiki. And again, I depend on it every day to do my job at Atlassian, so I'm a big fan of the product. So if you're interested in working at Atlassian, definitely go ahead and get in an application. Now, as to what the JIRA team will be working on when we form them, we have kind of four main groups, big divisions in JIRA, and one of those groups focuses on building features that are specifically relevant to software teams. A lot of people use JIRA for different things, and we have some set of folks who focus on enterprise customers. Well, this team focuses specifically on, hey, what would a top-tier, kick-ass software development team want in their issue tracking product? And so all the sprint planning capabilities that we have, our integration with Stash, which is our Git repository solution, our integration with Bamboo for continuous integration, and there's a whole lot more coming in the future. So really exciting features that developers will love. And this is actually one of the cool things about Atlassian, is you get to build software that software developers use. And so in many ways, you get to solve your own problems as a developer. You get to make your life better. And so that's one of the unique things about JIRA, and the team that we're planning on building in Vietnam is absolutely going to be initially focused on those software teams. So that's our initial plan today. Excuse me. All right, let's take another question. Can you share for us about the technologies that are actually used to build JIRA? Great. Well, I guess I mentioned Java, of course, since Atlassian early on was sort of pushed Java pretty heavily and was a strong part, and still is a strong part of the open source community. But we use a lot of other technologies. I mentioned a few others, but if you start from the front end, we use a lot of soy and soy templating. We use a lot of Backbone, and no surprise, jQuery is a huge part of what we do. Because our customers use different technology platforms, we support a handful of database platforms like SQL Server, Oracle, Postgres, MySQL, and of course Tomcat's been the application server that we've sort of bet on, and it's been tried and trusted. But of course, what's interesting is what technologies that we use to develop software. Well, we use a lot of our own tools. So we use JIRA heavily, of course. We use Confluence. We use Stash to do all of our Git repo management and pull requests and feature branching. We're huge users of Bamboo because we believe in continuous integration. And so much of what we do relies on automated testing, and so we honestly couldn't live without Bamboo for continuous integration, so that's really exciting. And then we also believe in automation, and so we build a lot of technologies that are specific to us that we haven't necessarily productized, but things that help us scale and monitor our software as a service solutions like JIRA On Demand and things like that. So there's a myriad of technology, and it's always changing, and we're always looking for something new that does the job. That's one thing about Atlassian, is we tend not to say, well, it's not broken, so don't fix it. We tend to say, how can we make this better? What's the next best solution that's going to make us faster? That's going to improve our developer inner loop and make it faster for a developer to take their code from idea and get it into a customer's hands. All right, let's go on to another question. This was probably the toughest one for me. So thanks for the stumper, which says, do you have any expansion plans of Atlassian in another place in Ho Chi Minh City, likely QTSC? So today, just for those who don't know, we're actually in E-Town, and so right now our plans are actually to to open a new floor in E-Town in August because we're going to have well over 100 people in Ho Chi Minh City at that point in time. So our plans right now are staying in E-Town. As always, we're looking for places that are fun and exciting for employees to be and are convenient for commuting. Our San Francisco and Sydney offices are both great, and we're really excited about our Ho Chi Minh City office as well too. But yeah, sorry, no plans for QTSC, but I've heard E-Town's pretty great. I'm pretty excited about getting to visit in a couple of months here. Oh, this is a good one for very close to my heart because of all the different uses of JIRA. Is JIRA also developed for project management? And how does it compare to some popular software like Microsoft Project? That's a really good question. We designed JIRA originally to be about helping software teams honestly just track bugs at the beginning. But we expanded it over time, and customers began to track feature requests. As we entered into agile development, of course, people tracked stories and epics. And really, we found that people just began to track anything. And inside a lot of our customers, we found that it had expanded beyond software teams. And so it actually had been that you found IT teams using it for any IT project, and then non-technical teams also using it for non-technical projects. So we have a number of customers who use it for general project management. And on the Atlassian marketplace, you can even find plugins to do visualizing JIRA issues in Gantt charts and things like that. So it's amazing how far people have taken JIRA and used it inside their organization. So while you won't necessarily find us marketing it specifically for that purpose, about 40% of our customers use it just for general project management outside of software projects today. So that's actually a very, very common use case. So again, that's a really good question. Not something a lot of people necessarily would know about JIRA. All right. Now this is another really good one as well too, which is, can you please give us some idea of how people use JIRA with Confluence and Stash? So Atlassian has a few different products. It's got Confluence for content. It's got Stash for Git repository management. And say how if you have both of them, what value do you get? How would you use them together? With JIRA and Confluence, I'll give you one example of something we did in the last year. And that's we built an integration between JIRA and Confluence. In addition to the many other integrations that we've had in the past, we built a new capability where if you just have a table in Confluence, so it's got some rows, it's got some columns, we found that a lot of customers would start in Confluence and they'd write a table of requirements. So they'd be starting on a new software project and they'd say, we're going to need a login screen. So they'd make one row in their table about the login screen. Then they'd say, and we're going to need some security mechanisms, and then we're going to need a welcome page, and then we're going to need maybe a reports page. And they would put all of these items in a table. And then once they'd sort of brainstormed the list of things they needed in Confluence, they'd go re-enter those in JIRA. And so we built an integration that essentially said, take a table in Confluence and kind of in a single click, turn it into an agile backlog in JIRA. So it was a great integration which lets you say, hey, ideate, brainstorm, come up with what your list might be in Confluence in a free text format. And then when you're ready, immediately turn it into a set of work items in JIRA. So you can go from ideation quickly to your planning process, and then you've got an ordered backlog of epics or stories that you can begin working on. So that was a really exciting one. And then with Stash, we've done some amazingly exciting stuff in the last year. A number of things we've done. One is that right from JIRA, let's say you're a developer and you've gone to your team's Agile board and you've picked up a story that you're going to start working on. Well, you want to get right to coding, right? Excuse me. You want to get right into starting to work on that feature and coding. Well, we want to make that as easy as possible in JIRA. And so from within JIRA, you can just click one button and it will actually create a feature branch off of your main Git branch for you that you can begin developing that feature on and eventually merge it back into master. And so in one click, we've taken you from you just got assigned a story to you're in the code doing work. Some other things we've done with Stash is take all the activity that you're doing in Git, like pull requests and commits and merging back and actually completing pull requests. Excuse me again. and we've actually made that visible in JIRA. So you can see that an issue, as it moves through a workflow, you can also see what development work is being done on it. So this issue is done, and yet it doesn't have any commits. That seems strange. How could we have fixed this issue with no actual changes to source? Or this issue is done, but there's an open pull request that hasn't been accepted back into master, back into the main branch. And so we really believe this strong integration between JIRA and Stash and Bamboo as well gives more visibility to development teams about what's really going on in the code. And so the issue and the code are just naturally tied together, and that's been a really important one for us. So I know we're running out of time. Excuse me. I want to make sure that we cover a really exciting event that's actually coming up. There's actually an exclusive tech talk with someone who's one of my close colleagues and friends at Atlassian, and that's Jean-Michel Lemieux, who's actually our vice president of engineering at Atlassian. And he's such a huge fan of our Ship It program, really sponsors a lot of the innovation at Atlassian, and has really been someone who I think has driven the success of our Ho Chi Minh City office to date. And so it's really exciting that he's actually going to host an event where he's going to talk about how that building great products and how it requires more than just mastery of algorithms and data structures. It's not just, as I talked about before, about being technical, and that good design and that usability, these aren't sort of optional extras that add a little juice to a product, that add a little sauce to a product, but they're mandatory. They're requirements. Their users expect them. He's going to talk about those principles and how they go into software development now. He's also going to talk about how at the same time with that art of user experience, there's also more hard science with usage analytics and how you actually do experiments in software to help you drive roadmaps and product direction. And he's going to talk about how we're building a great new team in Vietnam to help us create the next great version of JIRA, which, of course, very exciting to me. Now, we only have about 150 tickets available, and how you can win a ticket is that you can solve the 10 challenges of Atlassian JIRA. So we've put 10 questions up there in a small, even coding problem. And I think the right URL is http://istest, so istest.co/JIRA. So just istest.co/JIRA. And the top 150 scores will each get a ticket. I've taken the test, so you may need to beat my score as well. I tried to write my coding test in 3 different languages all at once. So if you can't beat me on the coding test, I'm not sure that's very good because I had a bit of fun with mine. So you have to be able to beat my coding test. I might have a little more inside information on JIRA than anyone here does, so that might be trickier. But again, 150 open spots, and we'd love to have you there. So let's see. I'm getting some instructions from my technical folks here. Was there anything? Oh, sorry. That is the wrong URL. So let me give you the right URL. So erase that from your memory, and it is go.atlassian.com/JIRA-test. That's much easier to remember than the one that I gave you. So again, go.atlassian.com/JIRA-test. And that'll be the right one for you. So we'll make sure that it's a good one. So go check that one out. Well, hey, thanks again for everyone who provided questions. Sorry we didn't get to all of them. I'll try to actually see if we can get you some online answers to those questions. But thanks again for everyone who came and joined us today, and of course everyone who's watching this recorded. We appreciate it too. Thanks and have a good evening. Take care, and I hope to see you in Ho Chi Minh City sometime soon. Cheers. Bye.